Good morning, Sun Valley. This is Marie's Kitchen. Welcome. Today we are gonna prepare a meatloaf. Not any kind of meatloaf, and I know there are a zillion ways to make meatloaf. This is my mom's recipe. So I grew up with this meatloaf recipe. Anyway, it's very easy and very fast. So what do we need today for the recipe? I have half a pound of ground beef. I use 85-25%. I have half a pound of pork, ground pork, and it's plain ground pork. Nothing, no sausage or anything like that, just plain ground pork. I have an egg. I'm gonna use half a cup of parsley. I have 2 cloves of garlic. I have a quarter of a cup of parsley. We're gonna use half a teaspoon of salt. I have ground pepper, excuse me. And I have 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. I love onions, so I'm using 1 cup of onions, and I have breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs, it's a little bit of cheating from my mom recipe because she used old bread that we were crumbling, and that's what we were using as breadcrumbs because we always have leftover bread. Remember, I grew up with a family of 10 plus me 11, so we always have bread, so we never waste any food in my house when I grew up. So what we are doing, I'm gonna mix all the ingredients together. So this is half a pound of ground pork, half a pound of beef, 85-25, I said that. I am gonna use my egg. You watch how easy that recipe is. I love parsley. You don't have to put half a cup if you feel like, well, it's too much parsley for me. You just don't have to do that. You can use a quarter of a cup or a little bit in between. But I love parsley, so I'm gonna put half a cup of parsley. There is my 2 cloves of garlic that I diced. So everything has been already chopped or diced. And by the way, I already preheat my oven at 400 degrees because it's gonna be fast, this recipe. So here is my cup of onions. I love onions. And on this recipe, I use yellow onion. So, and this is a quarter of a cup of celery, I'm sorry. And if you don't like celery, say, why is she putting celery in the meatloaf? Well, it's because my mom used to do that. But again, you don't have to use it if you don't like celery in your meatloaf. So here is a nice little mixture. What I'm gonna use is a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon. And this little gizmo, it's a German gizmo. I have this one. I brought it from Europe, from Belgium with me, believe it or not. And it's 30 years old. And it works like a charm, German thing. So I'm going to crack some pepper, because I love pepper. And then here is my 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Again, if you don't like Parmesan cheese much, just use 1 tablespoon or 2. I happen to like it. Remember, born and raised in Belgium, but I'm Italian, so I love Parmesan cheese. There it is, it's going in. And then I have my breadcrumbs. So this is half a cup. I'm not gonna use the whole thing yet. I'm gonna start with a little bit, and then you are gonna mix everything I'm gonna start with my fork, but guess what? I'm gonna use my hands because it's a better way to mix all the ingredients together. Of course, I wash my hands before doing this, so don't forget to wash your hands, when you use food. I'm gonna take my ring off, and you just go for it. Nice little Then you're gonna know if you need more breadcrumbs. You watch. If it's too wet, so to speak, you are gonna put a little bit more breadcrumbs in your mixed. All right, the mix for the meatloaf is ready. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take the meatloaf itself, put in the oven on this plate. But before we do that, what I'm gonna do is, I have my little paper towel, and I'm gonna scrub because there is enough fat in the meat. So I just want to scrub the plate who's gonna go in the oven. Remember, my oven is preheat at 400 degrees. All right, I think this is good. And I'm gonna take my meatloaf. If I wanted to shape it a little bit, I'm gonna do this in my plate itself. And I'm gonna do this. Oh, look at this little guy. Looks really good. Et voila, it's ready to go in the oven for 45 minutes. Put your timer at 45 minutes, and when we come back, we're gonna taste it. See you in a bit.
Better food, better price, better service. Atkinson's Market, supporting local farmers since 1956.
I moved out to Idaho 4 years ago, so I met a lot of people, and I really, really like it here. You know, if you don't have something like that that brings you into other people's lives, it takes a long time to get to know people.
This is by far the best treatment that I've had out of anything that the VA's thrown at me.
All right, now that we are back with the meatloaf completely cooked. Earlier I said 45 minutes, but guess what? I left it for an hour. And you know how to check if it's cooked or not. You just go in the middle with your knife, and if it's still a little bit red, just leave it longer. So it's except to you, and it's mostly the oven, you know. Some ovens are faster than others, but in any case, I say 45 minutes, but I left it for an hour. So the moment of truth, we are gonna plate our meatloaf. So I'm gonna cut a little piece because guess what? We have to taste, right? Oh, look at this. You can see all those little vegetables, and I'm gonna put on a plate. I made a little mixed salad, so romaine and some carrots, a little bit of parsley, some tomatoes, and I also add a little bit of celery. I love celery in my salad. Don't ask me why, but I like it. And I did my own little vinaigrette. And my vinaigrette, it's very simple: olive oil, vinegar, salt and pepper, parsley, onions, just simple. This is really one of my growing up dish. So let's taste it, right? Yum. You know me, I love food. So it just came out of the oven, so it's kind of hot. Let's take a little piece. It smells good. Yum, yum. Yes, yes, yes. It's really good. I'm gonna have a little bit of salad. Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, this is the way I like it. Put a little piece of meat with my salad. The crunchiness of the romaine, the carrot, just perfect match. You can serve the meatloaf also with potatoes, with rice, with pasta, you name it. Anyway, we had a good time again today. I'm sorry, my mouth is full just because I love it. And we'll see you next time on Ironson Valley. In the meantime, bon appétit and au revoir.